Morning. So I'm going to do a quick recap of the Berwick Planning Board meeting from last night, and that was the Thursday, January 16th, 2025 meeting. First thing on the docket was appointing the new, basically chairman, vice chairman, and secretary for 2025. That's a one-year position. Mike LaRue was voted in as chairman. That's a continuation. I think he's been chairman for a while now. Yours truly was voted in as vice chair. That was nice. And Rick Raines was voted in as secretary. He's thrilled about that. The board members present were Daniel Hook, Don Ganarelli, Mike LaRue, Rick Raines, me, Les Bodwell, and Phil Roy, who's a regular member, was absent. There were no public hearings. We didn't have any public comment on either of our public comment sessions. The minutes were approved unanimously from the last meeting. The new business that we saw was a site plan review for out off of Route 4. There's a commercial industrial area on Industry Drive, and it's basically like a cul-de-sac. And so they want to put basically a big parking, it's like a truck or heavy equipment parking building there. So we saw that. They did seek a waiver for the low impact development portion of it because it's basically a bunch of impervious surface. It's already been impacted. It's just like disturbed earth over there, heavily compacted too. So they were granted that waiver. The application was voted complete. There were a couple of questions about it that we went back and forth on. Everything seemed good. We actually waived the site walk on that because all of the board members have been out to that site, all except one. So we waived the site walk, and there will be a public hearing on that on February 6th. Then we went on to finalize our ordinance amendments. We have a whole list of ordinance amendments that have come through. There was a lot of discussion on them. Actually, that was the bulk of the meeting, was talking about that. Some of the things that I made notes on. So and these are things that the town is going to vote on. So these are proposals brought forth from the planning board. Mostly it's from the planning board or from citizens that are asking for a change in the land use ordinance. So that's how an amendment comes up. And then the board, we dissect it, we talk about it, we agree on the changes that we're going to propose. Those changes go to the select board. The select board, so we have a public hearing on it, then the select board has a public hearing on it. They vote on it, they decide if they really want to put it through to a warrant, and then it goes out to the public. So these are for what we're going to vote on in June. That's how that goes. So one of the things that we're going to vote on in June is adding basically generators, but a whole house auto generator to the land use table, and that would be a permitted thing. So that means that if you're going to install a whole house generator, you need to get a permit for it. Right now it's not permitted, which means that you can just install it without a permit. That's all that means. Doesn't mean you can't do it, it just means you don't need a permit. So they want to make it so you have a permit. And then the other thing that they're adding is that you will need a permit for temporary storage. And we're defining temporary storage as Connex boxes, truck boxes, portable mobile trailers, vans, similar vehicles, anything like that that's used for storage. So that's something else that's going to be voted on. We are, one of the things that was proposed is to, how they have those blue home occupation signs that are like directionals. So Jerry's Bike Barn is the example that comes up. So this ordinance would allow more than one. Right now there's a limit on one of those signs. This would allow up to 4 signs. I think it's a lot of signs, but whatever. The town can vote on it. We looked at allowing an additional lot on a discontinued road. There's a lot of discussion about that. There's an ADU amendment we're going to be voting on. There was a lot of discussion on that. And then a lot of discussion on allowing for a subdivision extension to be allowed to be petitioned to become a public way. And what this means is this. A number of years ago, the Public Works Department came to the planning board and said, hey, we have all of these developers that are building cul-de-sacs. So short road, turnaround, or short road with a stub or a hammerhead, and we don't have the manpower or the budget or whatever to keep on maintaining and plowing these roads. Like apparently it just takes a lot of time to go down the road, stop, turn it around, come out, go down the road. And they asked us to make an ordinance so that the town does not take over these cul-de-sacs anymore. And at that point, because that's what the Public Works Department wanted, and they know better than we do, we adopted that amendment, or we made an amendment to the ordinances. Town voted on it, that the town was not going to take over any more of those roads. But there are some roads it's Halflinger Lane is why this is coming up, where that was a cul-de-sac, and when that original subdivision was formed, and it's only 3 or 4 houses from the original subdivision that are out there. That was, while it remained a private road, and it's still a private road, the town was, it was approved at a time when the town would take it over. So it could have been adopted as a private road or a public road. In the 10 years that those people have been there, nobody's ever petitioned for the town to take over that road. So it's always remained a private road. Then the road was added onto, an additional 19 houses were put out there. Those folks now would like the town to take over the road, but that was added after we had changed the ordinance. So this is up for big debate. I know we're asking Public Works, and I think we're going to talk to the Select Board about it. The Planning Board and the Select Board are going to meet to talk about a lot of these things, because obviously the Select Board are voted in. You guys vote on them, and they are supposed to, do what you want. They're your representatives. We're just here going by a few books. So that's that. We're going to meet with them to go over some of these, but you can find all this information right online, and that is your breakdown, so you don't have to watch the hour-and-a-half meeting that we were at last night.